How we going, everyone? Just fixing my tomatoes here. Haven't been on for a while, eh? I've been taking a bit of a break. Let me fix this. It's starting to buckle. Look at that. Look what we've done. Left it there leaning real straight. No. Now I've got to do it the other way so I can straighten up. Then we'll put it back. Now, what I'm going to do is just take you for a little tour around the garden because I haven't been in here for, well, I did go to Adelaide. I was gone for a couple of days and I left it up to the family to look after, the veggie garden, the family to water it. Yeah, I said move those impact sprinklers that I got on poles. They're here somewhere. After 45 minutes, approximately, because they're doing 360s, move them to a location where it's not watering. What do? Absolutely nothing. They left them in the same spot, and you'll see the damage. How the hell did that chicken get out now? We had the sheep out earlier this morning. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is go for a little tour. I'll give you an update on the garden, and we'll start pretty much where I am here. We'll go from garden bed to garden bed. This may be a 2 or 3 parts, so bear that in mind and just flick through the parts you don't like. That doesn't mean the whole thing, because I know some of you do that. Ooh. Anyway, come here. I'm mucking around with you. This is the bale straw, or straw bale, that we said we're going to grow a tomato in. Now, I should mention that I've been to Sarah's place down in Seville, and she's actually done the same thing, but she's planted some beetroot in there. And when I saw them last time, they were huge. Actually, they were growing faster than the one she had in the garden bed with the planting mix. So it seems like beetroot or other root vegetables will actually like growing in here. Now, what we're looking at in here is the tomatoes growing in this bale, and this is stuck to the ground. So it's infused, and what's happening, it's decomposing and it's activating, and we've got all the lovely microbes breaking down the organic matter, the carbon, and we've got some nitrogen going into there, so we give it a liquid feed, and then we'll clean up the leaves like this. And do we have any tomatoes yet? Not really. This one here, where it's positioned, this spot here, it gets wind beaten. It gets blown to bits by the wind, and we've had some damage caused by the high winds in the past, but we're just seeing, well, it's not so much about growing tomatoes. I suppose you can grow lots of vegetables. This tomato really, it's doing well up here, actually. It's kicked on into gear. It's sort of copped the beating down below. It's climatized, and now it's saying, okay, let's do it. So we've got a few good flowers on here, so we'll just tolerate it a little bit more. But the aim here is to activate the soil and get the life in the soil, populating, so that you can plant in the ground, because a lot of people have problems with sandy soil, others have problems with clay soil. Either way, the treatment is the same, basically lots of organic matter, and if you can't dig it, well, layer it like this, just put your bales down, and we'll check it later on. So this is halfway, not even about a third of its way through its life process. That's the bale, that is. And then when it's completely decomposed, we're going to open it up and see what's going on down inside. This is the veg pod we're replacing. Now, even this bed here, it's actually holding its moisture today, because I did give it a deep water twice this morning. I mean, it's not damp, and I reckon the reservoir down below is probably not even full. See how the leaves are cupping there? That's dehydration. That's telling you that the plant's not really connected to the soil yet. So it's really reliant on the moisture you give it and that it absorbs. So the damp soil's there, but it's not getting into the plant. It hasn't sent out its feeder roots yet. So that still is taking its time. That's what I found in this bed here, but then we'll see in other beds around the garden where the capsicums have gone gangbusters, planted around the same time. All these garden beds have been treated the same way, layering, adding compost, planting mix, cocoa, and all the wonderful stuff. And yet we have different performances coming on. The successes vary dramatically. Even the beds that were doing really well last season are not doing as well this season. And it's a simple indicator to tell you that, I'm not feeding enough or not adding enough layering on top. So I need to be more active in that respect so that I can kickstart these garden beds. So for example, this one here, I really didn't top dress it a lot. I just put a little bit of mulch over because the birds did scatter it out everywhere. We've got moisture in here. Yes, we've got worms. There we are. First grab, we've got the worm out. It's probably a lot more than that down in there. So it is working. The challenges have been above ground with the weather. So today got to 34 degrees. Now it's 30. It's coming with an overcast, but it's still hot. These 2 beds I haven't shown you much about, but this is a trial that's ongoing at the moment, and we'll come and visit this later on. So just a little snapshot of what's going on. Identical plants in both beds, but we'll come back and talk about it in a couple of weeks. In 2 days. That's the result of it. Dehydration. The The leeks have gone to seed completely. They're fallen down. They're just going to dry out. If they crack open, I'm lucky. They'll germinate. But you can see how bad it's been. Dehydration, look at that. That's an indicator to tell you this plant was dehydrated at one stage. It's got burnt. Well, it got burnt. You know, that's lack of moisture in it. So it's still good because I did hydrate it this morning. Let's check it now because I gave it a good water. And these are the 3 beds that I have struggled to get life back into them. And I'm still going to struggle with these beds. I think I'm going to have to drill into this ground. Look at it. It's just, oh God, I've added a few things to it. That's the truth of it all. But it really isn't holding its moisture. We haven't got the humus developing. We've put compost in here. We've put everything. We've liquid fed these. This one's going to get a full overhaul. Mind you, we've got about 5 trillion carrot flowers about to burst out everywhere. I don't know if you know what this is. I mean, you know they're tomatoes, but these tomatoes here, look at the size of the flowers here. Show you how strong and healthy these were. Well, somewhat still are. These are the flowers, right? They're monsters, right? Have they set? Oh yeah, they've set. These are the big malakas, right? I said right a few times, haven't I? All right. Now, when I came back, have a look at the foliage on the ground. That was me. I had to clean them up. Why? Why? There's foliage all the way around. I haven't done any mowing or anything, folks. Don't mind that. Over here, look at all this. This is off all these tomatoes. Had to clean them up because within those 2 days that I was gone, just those 2 days, you're going to fall over. Those 2 days that I was gone, that impact sprinkler was set here that I positioned, these were completely covered in rust. Septoria leaf spot, the works. They literally got drenched continuously to the point where the disease, the virus, whatever you want to call it, activated, and it completely made them sick. So these are now on the road to recovery. I've got no fruit on them. Oh, bugger me. Get in under here. See if you can get this shot. I can't lift them any higher than that. Can you see them all? Yeah? Oh, look at that, huh? We got a ripe one. Oi! We got a ripe one. The alarm bells. It better not have been eaten. Oh, no. They haven't touched it. Oh, they are too ripe. Oh, look at these little... What did I do? I just ripped it off. You malaka. Just took off a little tomato. That's the first prune I've done on these plants. Just checking there's no foliage on the ground. No, there isn't because I haven't pruned them. Have a look at this. You saw the other side. Is this side here. Look at all those tomatoes in there. It is going gangbusters. Now, this is a sign of good, healthy soil. And it's the same treatment as I've done in every other garden bed, but this one, obviously, we had a different planting regime, I suppose, different plant species growing in there earlier season. I suppose the weather was different, the watering is different. All those little, parameters play a big role in the success of your soil. And you can do exactly the same thing in every garden bed, and yet they don't always perform the way you expect them to or anticipate. And that's, that's part of nature. So we don't begrudge that. We embrace it, we learn from that, and as we've been doing with the pruning, we prune from the top, clean from the bottom, thin out in the middle, and I know you're all looking at my tomatoes, I haven't spoken about them. That's okay, because they're going inside. They're only small, but they're going to be delicious. Keep your gardens healthy. Don't overwater. That's another thing we can do wrong, because I tend to do it too. I tend to water too much. And I tell you, you can see how grubby my fingers are. They're dirty on the tips because I'm constantly sticking my finger in the ground, because it's so hard to know whether it's dry or moist just from looking above. So stick your finger in the ground, clean, aerate, and don't overhead water too much. An overhead spray is nice to cool them down and wash some of that sediment off, and those molecules or microbes that are on the foliage goes back down into the soil, but don't drench them to the point where they're drowning, because that's where the diseases start. Otherwise, get on our website. It's called thesilliesgarden.com. We've got our workshops on, folks. We finally launched them. It's for February, March, and April. April, we're doing them at our Dandenong outlet. There's 2 weekends in a row. Check out the dates there. Book your seats. Only 20 per workshop, because we want to keep it intimate so we can communicate, ask questions, answer questions, solve problems and get to know everybody's backyards and whatever's going on in their garden. So it's all about fruit trees and vegetable flowering garden beds. We'll go for a tour around the garden, check out the fruit trees and get some hands-on experience as well with Craig Castry, all at Vasili'sGarden.com. From me, Vasili, Adesi.